All right, so we're gonna ask if we're allowed back on the island or not. All right, guys, so we are on Cortez, Florida, and you can see the water line on this building. There is a police checkpoint to get on Bradenton Beach, so we're not going to be able to get on Bradenton Beach. All right, guys, so we're on beautiful Cortez, Florida. We've done a lot of videos here in the past, and this is what Cortez, Florida looks like right now. That's where the water line came to on this cottage. Now, I'm going to walk this area on foot because obviously space is tight here, and I don't want our car to get in the way of people working. But it is a mess of destruction here on the outskirts of Bradenton. I believe today is day 4 or day 5, so today the smell is strong. Now, Cortez is a beautiful fishing village right on the outskirts of Bradenton, between Bradenton, Florida, and Anna Maria Island. Anna Maria Island is just on the other side. We cannot get on Anna Maria Island. It's so sad to see these beautiful homes, historic, flooded, and as well as all their property. And I have to say, while the small cottages are more historic and more beautiful, without a doubt the newer constructions stand up very well to hurricane storm surge, while these old cottages, I think the only real chance these old fuller cottages have to survive is if they jack them up, put them on stilts. These Florida fishing villages eventually, this happens. And like when we saw in Fort Myers Beach, it turned out that eventually, they can be completely wiped off. Now, thankfully, we got really lucky and these cottages are still here. The coming months on this island are going to look like this. I mean, there's barely enough space on this island when there isn't hurricane destruction. So if you're going to put the garbage out by the road, the garbage has to be off of the, on your side of the easement, not on the road. So it's going to be complicated because, as you can see, the population density is here high. But Cortez really is like one of the most beautiful little fishing villages that Florida has. And we should count ourselves lucky that structurally it is still here, because storm surge flooding always has the potential to do like a Fort Myers Beach, where, if this had been Hurricane Ian with a 15-foot storm surge, none of this would be left. Now, this area didn't really have a lot of wind damage. For the most part, this area had storm surge flooding. You can see here how a lot of the breaches got piled up against this property here. This is the destruction in the Bradenton area. Just an unreal amount of destruction here in Bradenton. Well, it only took a few days for the mold to start building up around this one. It is so hot out here, my phone's overheating. Wow. Look at this house here. It's beautiful. Cortez, Florida is a beautiful place, but it is sadly literally just a couple of feet above sea level. Luckily for this area, it is only storm surge and not wind destruction. Not sure what this is about. Take a look at the road leading to the island. Never seen it this empty. Well, we have a piano here on the road, and it hurts to see my favorite beach like this. Like I've said before, I feel like if it's the local news, people will come out and cry and tell them a story for free. But if it's a creator like me, then you almost get some passive aggressive behavior from people. It's like, for some reason, people don't want to support the little guy. If it's the big guy, they'll give him a news story for free. They'll cry, take him inside their home, and tell the whole story. But when it's a small creator, they treat you very differently. You know, like, as soon as I started doing the hurricane coverage, you got all these people that are like, you know, are taking advantage or exploiting the situation. I'm very proud of the work I do. And, you know, I got people back home up north waiting for me to report on their favorite beaches. And I know that what I do is meaningful. So, like any situation, you're always going to have somebody who's going to criticize you or hate on you or whatever. But why don't they go criticize the news? I mean, crap. At least I'm doing it to pay my bills and make a normal living. I'm sure they got more money than I do. But of course, that's the hypocrisy of people. Like, wait a minute, that's okay. You know, they get excited when the news shows up, but then they get pissed when a YouTuber like me shows up. And, you know, as a YouTuber, if they gave me the job for the news, you know, being the guy that goes out there, I wouldn't take the job. He doesn't make as much money as I do as a YouTuber. This is what I've talked about a lot on our channel about the red tide and contamination. Is, you know, every time you have these storms, people have a lot of chemicals in their houses. We all do. I do myself. The heat indexes after these hurricanes are so horrendous. You got the smell, the humidity, all the water evaporating off of all this wet stuff. And it's water that stinks, you know. Put on this one.